Hello everybody, Cody Demery here again. Now, I was so fired up from making that first video that I thought, why stop at one? Because I let the inspiration strike me in order to start doing this process in the first place. I didn't let fear control me. I didn't let fear or doubt run me and my choices and my decisions about making a video or not making a video. What I let run my heart, which is what I'm trying to speak from right now. There's no scripts, there's no plans, there's no nothing. It's just me speaking from off the cuff. I let inspiration lead me into creating this YouTube channel. Now, I already learned a lesson first on already, okay? That when you turn your phone sideways when you're taking a video, you don't have big black boxes here while I'm trying to speak in a video. So look at that, number one lesson already. Video number two, after video number one, maybe 25 minutes ago. But I was really fired up after making that first one and putting it out on social media and just letting the world know that, I'm doing this, I'm starting this. And I'm not going to be scared to see what comes of it. I'm just going to go with the flow, try and speak from the heart, speak with good intentions, and make a difference in people's lives by sharing these videos and these stories. Now, another lesson that I've already learned is that this thing is my unit heater in my workspace. It can often cause a ruckus, unfortunately. So if you hear a little buzzing in the background, I apologize. It is still minus 45 here in Saskatchewan, Canada. So maybe I have to build a new little wall or just let it go. Like I said, these videos aren't going to be perfect. They're going to be what I best can do for people and in order to hopefully help people. But here's the biggest thing. I'm not going to let fear control me from making these videos or not. These videos are coming out one way or the other, even if I don't necessarily feel the greatest about them. If I'm doubting myself whatsoever, because I know that that's how you grow. That's how you get better. And I've realized in my life of being a business owner, a public speaker, that things don't happen overnight. I was doing a life coaching session with a gentleman not too long ago. I'm not going to say any names or anything because, that's confidential. But I told this person who's wanted to get into starting their own business, one of the lessons I was trying to teach them is that things don't happen overnight, man. Things do not happen overnight. And, to reflect a little bit on that, like I was saying a little bit in the past video, that me trying to make a YouTube channel 4 or 5 years ago, I'll be honest, if I want to go watch some videos to make myself cringe right now, it would be those videos. And that's because things don't happen overnight. Since then, I've had 3 babies because we have 3 kids under the age of 4. I got married since then. I have spoke publicly 250, 300-ish times in front of tens of thousands of people, whether it's 5 people at a time or whether it's 1,000 people at a time. I have done a lot of different various things in my life that has helped me grow the confidence for me to be able to speak a little bit more articulate and clearer than what I used to speak in front of a camera 4 or 5 years ago. Things don't happen overnight. And that's what I shared with this gentleman. I still remember my very first trade shows running my clothing company, Limitless Gear. I would go to a trade show, a street fair, a street trade show, and, we'd sell some t-shirts, sell some tank tops, but that's all I had for inventory. Now I'm in a workspace where I have everything head to toe. And, I have a workspace that I took out a sizable loan to create and to build. And what helps fund that work loan or that business loan is those products that I created over 8 years ago in the first place. That doesn't happen overnight. I still remember some of my very first speaking engagements. Now this was like 10 years ago. where me and my buddy Regan, who I chatted about in the first video, where we started doing these drinking and driving presentations together. Now, I was still trying to deal with a lot of trauma that I was going through in my life. I was still trying to deal with a lot of issues that I was dealing with in my life at that time. And I was still trying to recover, I'll be honest. I'm not a person to hide behind who I once was or who I am to this day. I still struggled back then. But I still remember those presentations that me and my buddy gave and that we did. We would play a 40-minute slideshow. We would answer maybe 3 questions, 2-ish questions after the presentations, and we both would be extremely scared and nervous the entire time. I'll be honest, I was a ballin' baby back then, because the trauma of watching this video and the story that we'd go through over and over again, it was so fresh back then. And the truth of the matter is, when I do a lot of my presentations still, just to remember all those moments in my life in the past that, have been tough, I still get emotional. There's times in my life that I used to believe that, I can't wait till I don't have those big emotions after sharing my lived experiences with people. And that's when I realized, something after hearing a story, I think it was from my good buddy Alan, where he had similar thoughts. And an elder told him that, no, I think the moment you stop feeling these emotions, the moment you stop sharing your story the way you do, because that's where the power and the realness comes from. And, a few hundred presentations later, I still have emotions. But where it used to just be nothing but trauma and word vomit coming out of my mouth with no rhyme or reason, it is now directed with trying to make a difference, a lot more better of a direction than what it used to be. And I'm thankful for that, because once again, things don't just happen overnight. And, in this life coaching session that I had with this gentleman, I really just wanted to hit that home with him. Because I think a lot of people give up too early in life, whether it's business, whether it's careers, whether it's goals, whether it's, just life in general. I think people give up too early on their hopes and dreams, thinking that they have to have traction immediately for things to start taking off, I should say. Now, if that was the case, I wouldn't be here where I am to this day. Plain and simple. I don't think anybody who's ever created anything in life would be here. Just to speak from example, the very first the very first event where I sold some of my products, after just selling t-shirts out of the trunk of my car for a few months, I went and I got offered to set up at the Golf and Curling Club in Prince Albert. The manager, his name's Matt. He's a very good dude, very good man. So Matt, if you ever hear this video, thank you for giving me a shot back then. But Matt said, you know what, we want to support local. Why don't you come set up your t-shirts, your gear here, and we got a comedy night and see what happens. I said, okay, cool. I was so excited, so fired up, so ready to just take on the world with my new business venture that I started out of the trunk of my car over 8 years ago. And, I get there and I'm just sitting there. I'm having a hard time talking to anybody who walks up to me because, I'm just not a confident person back then. And I'm scared, plain and simple, because this is, brand new to me. And then deep down inside, I had these thoughts of like, what if I sell out of all my tables, sell all these clothing racks, and get to start fresh with a brand new line of products next event. A couple hours goes by, a couple of people walk by the table, a person picks up a sticker, and a person glances at what's going on here, and I'm frozen the whole time. And then a lovely lady who, I'm friends with the family. She comes and buys a t-shirt for me. Now, I know the family, and I think it's a little bit out of pity, but that's okay, because I'm here now. And you know what? After that event was done, I packed everything in my car that night and I cried because I thought, this is the true meaning that I am not a success. I didn't do what it took to succeed. And I was so ready to give up. So ready. One t-shirt. Bawled my eyes out. I went home and I thought, no, I can't continue this clothing company. I can't do anything with this anymore. People don't want it. People don't like the message, what it stands for. My brain was just going 1,000 miles a minute, and it's all negative thoughts, nothing positive. I think a couple days goes by and somebody changes my perspective for the better. And somebody comes up to me and says, after hearing my reaction, I think it was a friend, I can't remember back then, but they said, well, you sold one t-shirt, you could have sold none. Right there and then, it dawned on me, you don't have to move mountains in order to keep moving forward all the time. Setting yourself up for that unrealistic imagination is going to set yourself up for failure. Because a person who just moves an inch at a time, you're still moving in the right direction that you want. Giving up too soon, giving up too early, just because you're not moving mountains, isn't going to allow you to ever succeed at any of your ambitions or your dreams or your goals in your life. Because you don't move mountains every shift of trying to make progress with something in life. You might move in small increments at a time. Just an inch here, an inch there. And sometimes it might be a foot. Sometimes it might be a yard. Sometimes it's going to be 10 yards, 1,000 yards, 100 yards, whatever it is. These distances of measurements of our success, they change from time to time. Whether it's, just timing, good luck, or whether it's just consistency of trying to move things forward enough, it all really amounts to who can stay in the longest for what their hopes and desires are of everything, of all their hopes and goals and dreams. Now, I had a choice over 8 years ago when I had that event at the Golf and Curling Club in Prince Albert. I could have gave up my hopes and dreams right there. Or I could have allowed my perspective to be changed like it was and said, you know what, I could have sold nothing at this event. And how would I have felt at that moment? But at least I still sold one t-shirt. And that was beautiful because that helped change my perspective from the get-go. From after that event, moving forward, of course, I've had some business letdowns, some, success letdowns, whatever it is. I think we all do because, when we face adversity, it makes us stronger deep down inside. And sometimes we're not strong enough to reach the level that we want to reach in life without going through some adversity. Now, if that event doesn't happen like that, I don't know if I'm in the same place where I'm at to this day. And that's why a message that I always love to share with people when they have big goals and dreams is that things don't happen overnight. It's a very rare, very odd chance that things do. And it's just 1 in a million, let's go 1 in a billion sometimes when things happen overnight. I'm not trying to be the person who's, making people feel defeated. I'm trying to be the person who gives people a realistic understanding of what success or just moving the needle forward sometimes takes. Because this is why I'm making this YouTube video. I'm going to take my lived experiences, my learned lessons, and my goal is to channel it into whoever wants to listen. Now, whether or not for whoever does listen actually wants to take in those messages, that's a different story. But, after figuring out the one lesson already about turning my phone sideways so we don't have the black screens on the other side, that's one lesson. Another lesson is this unit heater up there. Got to figure out something to do with that so I can continue making these videos in peace and harmony and being able to speak in front of whoever listens to these videos. Unless some folks just say in the comments, say, just keep going, man. Or unless you got some ideas how I can figure out how to reduce the noise for my videos from that guy. If you do have some ideas, make some comments and let me know what you think. Or send me a message if you know me personally, because good chances are a lot of people who are going to see these videos first off are going to be people like friends and family. Because lots of times that's how things start. Now, moving forward, I'm still fired up. Okay, second video. I've been at my desk station here for an hour in my workspace. I already posted the first video. It's already got 15, 20 views, whatever it is. It's only been up for 40 minutes now, whatever it's at. Cool. And if it stopped right there, that's cool too. I'm already having a blast doing this. I don't know why, it's just I'm already having a blast. So if you guys found some value out of these videos, please let me know also in the comments. If you could like this video, if you could subscribe to this video, it would help a guy keep moving that needle forward, even though I know it's not going to be 1,000 yards all in one night, because nothing happens in one night. Things take time. Things take patience. To build anything, it takes time. So for those who are thinking about starting a new journey, just maybe remember that. Not trying to set yourselves up for failure, thinking that things need to happen immediately. But give things enough time. Give things enough energy. I am kind of a woo-woo person a little bit on a few topics, like spiritualness. And I believe this world, this universe has something called momentum. And sometimes it just takes you doing things over and over again to continue that momentum. So if you like this video, please feel free to give some love. Once again, my name is Cody Demray. Once you believe you have the ability and capacity to do great things, that's when life truly becomes limitless. Thanks, guys.